Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Good evening.
Good evening, Liz. Listen, how you guys doing?
Good. We're doing good. I'm excited. I see that we're up on Instagram as well here, and we're on YouTube and on Facebook. Everything looks good. I know we were chatting in the back, and I just saw it said showtime, and I'm like, wait a minute. We have folks waiting for us.
Absolutely. We're ready.
All right, Coach. What are we talking about today?
Oh wow. I mean, we had a great episode last week. We talked about the wall of wealth, and one thing we talk about how even the market and the financial field is really wide open and out there, and people can take advantage of that. And one thing dawned on me, people were asking me questions, people call me, well, what should I do? There's ways to make money, things like that. And I realized something so powerful. So you know what? Let's spend some time last episode talk about the benefits, because some people are scared, they're nervous, they're not sure. And even us out there is a lot of people don't really understand what economy you're part of. We need to understand, and what are we part of? What's happening? What's going on out there? If you think about it, there's different periods of time in history. Back in the 1700, there was a Renaissance era, right? That was now you fast forward to 1800s, there was the Industrial Revolution where most of wealth was created by industry. Steel, U.S. Steel was the biggest company out there, right? Back then. And you fast forward, why not? What era are we in right now? Right? We are in this two things. We are in the information era and we are in the distribution era. Information and distribution. And we have to really pay attention while we're part. Think about it. Look at the biggest companies out there, right? Google, Microsoft. What's Microsoft? Microsoft is not computers. They're in information, distribution. Google, information and distribution of information, right? If you think about Apple is not in the cell phone business. Apple is an apps, information, and distribution of the information. Facebook, information and distribution.
Everybody. Wow.
Information and distribution, right? Airbnb, distribution, right? Out there. Everything out there, right? Is we have to understand what we're part of. So and it's so important, because if you don't, you'll miss out on that, and you'll miss out what's out there, what's important to take advantage of. This is why even in a financial field, what do? Our goal is we give financial information people need to know, right? And we have a distribution way to get to people. Now, what we have to do, find a way to get that information to enough people out there.
Yeah.
We're growing. So let's talk about real quick, okay? And the topic we talk about is time to be an owner. Time to be an owner. There's never a better time to be an owner than right now. I think the biggest mistake that people make, especially in business, like, well, when is the right time? Everybody waiting for the stars to align. There's never been a right time. The right time is now, right? Richard Branson says something very powerful. Someone gives you an opportunity, even if you're not sure how you can do it, just do it anyway. You figure out how to do it afterwards as you get into it, right? It's so important.
Yeah, right? Like stop waiting for the stars to align.
Right. Everybody waits for like the perfect moment. Like, what's the perfect moment? It's never gonna be the perfect moment. When the idea strikes your head and your heart, that's the perfect moment.
Yes, I agree.
When something like this dawns on your head and your heart, that's the perfect moment. So let's talk about what's happening out there. Like, what's happening out. If you think about it, right? And a lot of times, Liz, I sit down with clients and we try to give them financial information, guidance. But sometimes, a lot of times sometimes there's a situation people have too much debt. Sometimes they're mismanaging what they're doing. They have it, but they're mismanaging. Sometimes they just need to learn more. But a lot of times they just don't make enough money. It's not enough money coming out there, right? Because listen, you can rearrange your chairs in a Titanic. If the ship is gonna sink, it's gonna sink. You can try to do here and there. Let's rearrange. It's just gonna sink. So a lot of times people just don't make enough money. But how do they fix it, right? So let's talk about if you look at the next slide.
I'm taking notes. Hold on.
Absolutely, right. And this is the truth happening out there, right? 57% of Americans out there would have difficulty finding $1,000 for an emergency. Really, 57% of Americans would have a difficulty finding $1,000 for an emergency. So this is real that's happening out there, right? The majority, it says actually more than 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not paycheck to paycheck, it's paycheck to Monday. They get paid Friday, Monday, that they run out of money sometimes, right? That happens a lot of times, right? And think about it. This one thing I always ask someone. I want you to think about this. Let's say if you went to work, you're supposed to get paid this Friday, right? Average person is one paycheck away from a disaster.
Right.
Paycheck from a disaster. For an average person, if you, let's say Friday's supposed to get paid, you don't get paid on Friday. For a lot of people, they will freak out. Oh, your boss tells you, listen, we have a challenge with payroll. We're not going to get your check on time, so we're going to have it next week. For a lot of people, they're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to eat? For a lot of people, that's the crisis situation they're in. And it's not a good position to be in. Because what's happening right now, the cost of living is going up tremendously. But the incomes have not gone up with the cost of living.
Right.
The cost of living is going up, but the income is not going up with the cost of living. And everybody talks about sometimes the economy is doing good, but a lot of time is the people that are making the most money are double or tripling their income, and it gives you a very skewed aspect of what's growing and not. But the people in the middle class are still struggling. Now, the people entrepreneurs that really in business, they can scale their business. They're making a lot more money now. But what happens is a middle class that have W-2 they're struggling. They're not getting ahead. And that's something that we have to accept it. We have to, so like, oh my gosh, we have to take advantage of it. We have to move. We have to do something about it. Okay? Which is so important, right? So this is the challenge we have, right? What are some of the things we all from childhood, right? We all talk about do well in school, go to college, get a good job, work for a good company equals your dream life. But how's that working out for most people?
Bernard is painting the picture for real today.
Yeah, it's not working out because most people never ask, if I take your advice, what my life look like? See, you could do everything you're supposed to do. You could do well in school. You could go to college. You can actually get feel you had a great job, good company, and you still can struggle.
Yeah.
You can still struggle. So it's not about doing the right thing. It's putting yourself in the right vehicle. It's we have to learn how to put ourselves in the right vehicle, right? Doing the right thing is not enough. Doing it is absolutely not enough. You have to put yourself in the right vehicles, right? And people never ask, if I take your advice, what my life look, because we're so used to tradition. This is what this person did. When it got a good job, right? Follow the process, right? It's a very challenging because of that, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the next slide, look at some things that we were taught that hurts us. But why do so many people fail when it comes to their finances? Because most people conform. They conform. Many of us have been following the wrong group of people and never asked why.
Right.
It's like the sheep. Everybody, there's something. The reason the sheep are not the smartest animals out there, here's the reason why. Because sometimes if one of a couple of sheep fall off the cliff, a lot of them will just keep following.
Crazy.
They will keep following. They will keep following. There was actually something that happened like years ago in Turkey. They kept following, and sheep just falling off the cliff, right? Without the shepherd. And that's something that happens so much because that's why we tend to follow what everybody else is doing, follow tradition, because we have been following the people who are not making it financially. Yeah. People never ask that. Like, okay, if I follow this, what is going to happen? How am I going to do? Don't just blindly follow. Just ask questions. Ask questions. In other words, okay, listen. Okay, I understand. Why do I have to do this? Why is it that I have to follow that? Why?
Yeah.
Don't just do it because everybody else does it, right? And that's something that's so important, right? So if you look at the next one, right, that's important also, is most people conform. And most of us have been indoctrinated our whole life that the best way towards the good life is to get a secure job with benefits.
Correct.
We've been indoctrinated. It says get a good job with benefit, get a good job with benefit to become an employee. We've been conditioned to become an employee, where 90% of employees are living paycheck to paycheck, but we've been conditioned just be an employee. Right. And the reason that happened is because a lot of us sometimes we don't truly understand how the whole economic structure of the United States works. We really don't quite understand how that works. And we have to, and I learned this. Let me show you something real quick. If you look at the next slide, right? I'm gonna show you something real quick, which is very so powerful. This is something called a cash flow quadrant. This came out of a book in 19 back in early 1990s, late 1990s, called Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, people are aware of, right? And he talked about the cash flow quadrant. And he talked about in the United States, there are 4 ways to earn income. That means every single person will fall in 4 different categories. Very, very simple, right? The first one is you're going to be an employee, where most people are aware of. When you're an employee, you have a job, right? And the income's based on a position, not the person.
Correct.
Okay. So a lot of times a job pays the bill sometimes, but they pay the position, not the person. So that position pays you 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year. Even if you work a lot harder, you're not going to make any more money than that because they pay the position, not the person. So if you and I, Liz, we're both teachers and we have the same amount of seniority, same amount of time. Let's say I'm a teacher and I just go in there and just do my job and I care for a couple of months off. And you're very dedicated to the students. You care about the success. You spend extra time with them. You have a relationship with them. You really care about them going the right direction. Who's going to make any more money?
Yeah, same.
We're gonna make the same because they pay the position, not the person. And the challenge also sometimes you're an employee. We fall under there's the wrong. We're part of the wrong economic equation. And people say, well, what equation you're talking about? Every business is operate on this very simple concept: revenues minus expenses equals profits, right? Revenues minus expenses equals profits. The challenge is sometimes when you're in a job, you are on the expense side of the equation. You are on the expense side of the equation. So when a company wants to increase their revenues or decrease their expenses, guess what they want to do? They're trying to find a way to how do we get rid of someone? How do we this department? How do we do that? And how many of us know someone that's been in a company just got let go just like that? Right? Just like that. And that happens. Listen, and that happens across the board. That's happening in the government right now. People getting let go. It's happening right now. There's UPS, which is I used to work UPS years ago, decades ago, is going through a transition part right now where because Amazon is Amazon because Amazon people shipping things Amazon, they have their own fleet, so they're losing billions of dollars. So they're gonna get rid of a lot of people. Closing up. This is what happens time and time again. We are an expense side of the equation. So you're working day by day, you have bills, you have a mortgage, and guess what happens? You have someone out there trying to find a way to get rid of you. And this is what we have to look at. There's someone out there up in the towers, wherever they are. It's like, how can we get rid of this person? And guess what? They're not going to give you like a 3, 4, 5, 6 months warning, give you a chance. They go from one day to another, just like that. And that happens time and time again. So you're in the wrong side of the equation because of that. So you have to be aware of that. So you have to, I got to get myself out of that, right? Or someone transitions, becomes self-employed, which is a good way to start. Where you can, it's like you own a job, a dentist, a doctor, lawyer, hairstylist, real estate salesperson. So a great thing about becoming self-employed, you get to control your own time. You get a chance to work when you want to work, and you're able to do that. But also the challenge of being self-employed, 100% of your income depends on you. Depends on you. That means if you don't work, you don't get paid. If you don't sell a house, you don't get paid. So you sort of traded a job for another.
Right.
Okay, so that's great. It's a great way to transition, but still not the best way to be able to get what you want. Now think about it. What's the one thing you and I, every single person wants, thinks about? They may not be able to articulate it, but every single one of us, what's the one thing we truly want? Every single one of us wants something called have a great quality of life.
Correct.
You want to have a great quality of life, right?
Yes.
And there's two things that determine your quality of life: is time and
Uh-huh.
money. Time
Uh-huh.
and money. There's only two things. Now, there's a lot of people out there. They have a lot of time on their hands, but they don't make enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of people, they make a lot of money, but have no time on their hands. Why? Because they're working 60, 80, 90 hours a week, right? And there's a lot of people that have no time and no money, right? They're too busy, but still in paycheck to paycheck. See where you and I can have a great chance to have a great quality of life when you have a lot of time on your hands and you're able to make a lot more money.
That is correct.
And the only way we can do that, we have to find a way to have a business where you have others working with you. You have others. You own a system. You have others working with you. You have unlimited income. That means you have a system in place whether you are there or not, you still make income. You're able to scale your business. You're able to work yourself out of a job, to go to work yourself out of a job. This is where we need to be. This is why we have to be able to scale, to be able to find a way to transition towards that, right? It's having a different mindset. And reason that's happening is the challenge is there's different business. See, a lot of times unfortunately, with most people, if they don't understand how a business or a structure work, guess why they think it's a scam? Is something wrong? No, there's different ways to make income out of that. Not because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong. Because we've been indoctrinated, job is the only way. A job is the only way, but there's a lot of other ways to make income.
Wow, that's so good. Because if we don't understand where the money's coming from and how it is, we automatically think, oh, it must be a scam.
We don't understand it's something. No, it's not. And you and I live a great life today because we have other people that were able to what? Create something.
Mm-hmm.
There's something outside the norm. There's something outside the norm. Think about that. Electricity. Thomas Edison created electricity. Guess what happened? He did something outside the norm, something that they didn't think was possible. He created. A lot of people criticize him. You're crazy. You're not gonna happen. We can fly. The Wright brother invented fly. We can go from one side of the continent to another across the world, right? Because someone think about our cell phones. Someone created that. We have a big computer into one and a little hand, right? Look, makes a big difference. This is why it's so important. So not because you don't understand something means it's not correct. So we have to be very, very open. I believe our mind is like a parachute. It works much better when it's open.
Yes.
Very open, right? So it's so important. So if you look at the last one, the quadrant is no, go back. Last one is an investor. See, when you're an investor, you have your money working for you. You enjoy complete freedom, live the dream. See, in the beginning, you gotta, and this is why we talk about a lot in the beginning. We've been talking about it. In the beginning, you gotta work hard for your money. But as time goes by, you gotta have your money work hard for you.
That's right.
This is what we talk about. Start saving and investing early. Because one day your money, listen, one thing I love about money works 24 hours a day. If you put money doesn't call in sick, money doesn't ask for a vacation, right? Money doesn't doesn't give you any back talk, right? Money works 100 hours. If we don't have money to work hard for us, we're gonna be working hard for money for the rest of our lives.
Right.
Right. So if you think about it, which two ways to earn income appeals to us the most? If you ask an average person, say business owner or investor. But why are most people on the left hand in the quadrant?
Yeah.
Because they just don't know how to get to the right side. But how do we get to the right side?
Yeah.
We gotta find a way to transition to be able to do that. But what stops people? What stops people a lot of times from going on their own, having that fear going on, right? So if you look at the next slide, right, we talked about there's five reasons people just don't go in business for themselves. Number one, they don't have the capital.
Right.
People think they need a lot of money to start a business. Sometimes you do if you have a brick and mortar place or something like that, where you may have to invest a lot of capital, right? So people don't have the capital sometimes. Okay,
Mhm.
so find something to. There's things that you can do that have very little capital, very little output. That very little output. For example, you don't have to invest a lot of money up front. You don't have to have a storefront. Like we talk about, we're in the distribution era, right?
Yes.
You're able to we have social media, you're able to be able to reach out to people. There's billions of people you can reach out to, right?
Mhm.
In other words, right? Don't have the capital. Second thing that is they don't have the time. Everybody has time. Everybody has time, right? I mean, there's time for it. You
You
don't
make time for what you want to do.
you make time what's important,
Mhm.
right? You make time for it, what's important. So you gotta have the time. Some if you have a full-time job, invest that time. Listen, here's what you should do. If you're working 9 to 5, then you may have to work from 5 to 9.
Right.
Work from 5 to 9. Work 9 to 5 temporarily until a 5 to 9 pays you more than your 9 to 5.
Mm.
That's the goal, right?
Mhm.
See, like, well, I'm tired. You're not tired, you're uninspired.
Oh, wait, he said
Tired.
that.
No, you're not tired. We are uninspired sometimes, right? Uninspired. That's the challenge. We all have time.
Mhm.
Everybody has time, right? So third thing is lack of knowledge, right? They're afraid, well, I don't know something. Well, then find something you can learn that you're gonna have a mentor. There's so many things you can do. You can learn about something. You can learn about anything out there. We have Google. Listen, if somebody, even a podcast, they know anything about money, they can start looking at the Army Empire podcast. They can learn everything about money right there. Right there, everything works. There's knowledge out there. You can get the knowledge, right? Too much risk. They can certainly have too much risk. Fear failure. A lot of people afraid that the business is gonna fail, right? It's like too much risk. Well, like I said, don't do something that. See, I rather try something, right? It's better to try something, right, and not work than never try something at all. One of the biggest regrets people have in life is never they try something, is because they never tried anything at all.
Correct.
Okay, fear failure, right? Yeah, feel don't worry about that. Just listen. Failure is part of success. People don't realize. See, we've been conditioned to think that the opposite of success is failure. No, the opposite. See, everyone that's successful you need failure for success. You need to have some kind of failure because failure gives you an option, gives you a way to learn. I figured out how not to do this.
Correct.
I figured out a better way to work. I feel okay, this is not the best way, go a different direction. All failure does, it tells you, it just kind of like a GPS recalculates, get you in the right direction. That's all it does. The opposite of success is quit. Not even trying and not quitting.
Mhm.
Right? It's so important. So those are the things, and there's so many things out there that, like we talk, that's why we talk about there's an information era. There's so many things out there that you can do that have very little capital, take very little time, that you have mentors, you have knowledge you can get. There's no risk to it, and
Mhm.
you can't really fail because we're not asking you, because you don't have to quit your full-time job to do it. There's a lot of things you can do out there where you can still work your full-time job, do something on the side, make extra money, and be able to what? You have no fail. There's nothing to it. You
Yeah.
can't fail. Make sense?
Yeah, we need to be reminded of this. I'm going to open this up, screenshot this, save this on your phone, and look at it every so often and remind yourself this is what we want to stop doing. These are the things that are stopping us from going into business and being truly inspired. Truly inspired. That's
Absolutely.
so good.
So if you like the next one, let's talk about really the next one, right? This is why it's so important. This is why it's so important. Like there's a difference, and I'll tell. There's a difference between W2. Listen, like I said, the whole economic structure in the United States is designed for people that run their own business. It's just designed for that. The whole tax structure of the United States is designed for people that run their own business, self-employed, corporation. Listen, again, there's a disclaimer. Please consult a tax expert. We don't give tax advice. Everybody's situation is different. Just want to put a disclaimer out there. But this is how it works. Think about this is what most of us do. And when I learned, it's totally changed my life. Here's what most people, when you're W2, you make income. You get paid, you have your gross pay, right? They take away the taxes, right? Which is anywhere from 15% to 40%, depending on your tax bracket, then guess
Correct.
what happened? Then whatever's left is your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, when you have a 1099, you still make the income, but guess what? You can deduct most all your expenses and you pay very little taxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's never how much money you make, but how you make your money. You can have two people making $100,000 a year at a W-2, you're paying about 25, 30% tax bracket, where you're the same person has a lower tax bracket because you're taxed lower as a corporation, right? Or as a business than you were in W-2.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God, it's not fair. But it's not fair because that's why you have some people that make 4, 5, 10, 15 times more than someone that has a W-2, right? And actually gets paid less in tax or lower tax bracket.
Mm-hmm.
You say, well, that's not fair. It's not fair. You just got to take advantage of it. That's the law, right? So things not fair. So how do I structure myself to take advantage of that? How can I take advantage? How can I put myself in that position and take advantage of that? That's something that's so important, right? To know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow.
And absolutely. And if you look at the next slide, which is the last slide, there's 3 ways to transition to 1099 ownership. Find some way. There's 3 ways to transition, right? Number 1 is tax benefits. You're gonna get, like we talked about, tax benefits you're gonna get that you'll be able to do. And I can go, speak to an account, speaking of tax. We're not gonna give that information out there, but it's huge. People need to know. People need to know about this. There's so many laws out. People don't know there's so many laws and a tax code out there that'll actually encourage you to own your own business, encourage you to do something on the side.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
It's designed for you to do something on the side. It's like, do something, please, on your own business. Do something, start something. Don't just get right. It's different, right? Number 1 is more income. You're able to make more income because sometimes you may have goals and dreams out right here, but your income might be down here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 2 things you can do: decrease your goals and dreams to meet your income, or increase your income to meet your goals and dreams. So you have to find a way to make more income. So important to be able to do that. That can help you different things that you want in life, right? And the third, you're able to have freedom. Eventually, if it goes the right direction, you'll be able to have freedom. You'll be able to have freedom of time, right? Freedom of time that you can do what you want when you want. You don't have to have anyone putting their thumb on you.
Yes, correct.
When to do this, when to do that, when to go on vacation, be able to do it. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, but put yourself in a position you can have freedom. Put yourself in one thing I never wanted to do. One thing that was a big pet peeve. I never wanted to control it. I don't like to, how can I say it? I don't like authority that much. I don't get in trouble. I don't like authority that much. I don't like.
You don't want to work for somebody.
I don't like people telling me what to do. That's just me. I'm just telling you, that's just my nature. I'm very. Listen, I love mentors and I follow mentors 100%. I'm very coachable to mentors. Always willing to learn but one thing, I don't like someone telling me what to do. Especially sometimes you have people that you know more than they're telling you what to do. Tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, right? And people say, well, that's true. And people say, well, and I told someone the other day, because I was like, listen, people, I know, right? people say, listen,
yeah.
People say, I told someone, listen, here's what I realized. You're like, do you realize like your boss controls your whole life?
That's so true. I was telling my husband that the other day too.
No, I don't. I'm a grown person. No. You
gotta ask if you're allowed to go on vacation.
Your boss controls your life because who determines how much money you get paid?
How much money you get paid?
Guess what happens? So if he determines how much money he or she how much you get paid, so he determines. Guess what happens? What kind of car you drive, right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yes. What kind of house you live in?
Right.
What kind of clothes you wear?
Yeah.
Where you go on vacation?
Yes.
Where you send your kids to school?
Yeah, that's good what Derwin is saying there too. Yeah,
exactly.
We're in their agenda.
Their agenda, right? Their agenda. So they determine everything. So like, oh my God, that's the reality. That's just the reality. So put yourself, I'm sharing that with you. Listen, It's scary. Yes, it's nervous. Yeah, but there's ways out there. There's new success. I mean, there's such a big era of new money happening. People, new first generation millionaires out there more than ever. It's happening like day and day. And there's every single, I think there's I don't know what the numbers are, but every single day there's new millionaires being created in this whole economy.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, and it's not created to people that are W-2s. It's created to people that are taking a step out and doing something different and building something different, make income, whatever it might be. Listen, there's a lot of ways out there, and I'm just whatever it is, I'm planting that seed in your heart and your head that you have to transition. You have to be able to do that. It's time for us to get our freedom. It's time for us to do more, and there's so many ways that we can do it out there. And just be open, be open out there.
This is so good for those that are logging on, because I'm seeing the numbers go up. Y'all need to watch this from the beginning. This has been such an amazing episode. This is crazy. Episode 47. Episode 47.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Bernard.
Yeah, absolutely.
All these episodes, we're going into episode 50 in 3 more weeks.
Yes.
I am going to ask permission.
Yes.
That this podcast also go live on my social media platform.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because I know that there are so many people in my scope that need to hear what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
This past Saturday, I had a baby shower at my house, and we were talking about you. We were talking about savings and money and putting away and things. And there are people that need to listen to this podcast. So if you don't mind, episode 50, we're going live on.
Absolutely. We'll do it. Love it. We're open. Absolutely.
Excellent. Because I think we're going to reach a broader audience too.
Yes,
and even the ladies, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I just feel like this really is information that everyone, every demographic, every age, every generation needs to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not a prophet, but I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year in the economical system that we're living in right now, because everything is so like all over the place. Yes. I feel like if the Lord is going to use this as a tool and as a vessel, so when we get to a place in a year, people can say, thank God I saw this, or thank God I sat with somebody and now have my stuff in order.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's the whole goal. 100%.
That's the goal. And I feel the presence of God as I'm saying this. So I'm excited. Episode 50. Look, we're only 3 weeks away.
Yes, it's going to be exciting. We'll have a big party. It's going to be huge. Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be balloons in the background flying up.
Yes.
Listen, we're gonna hype it up, and it's gonna be amazing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I saw a few folks jump on Instagram. Glover P61 was on. Then I see I Preach and Sing 1 joined. So I saw some folks jumping on Instagram as well. So thank you again. Join us again here next Tuesday, 8:00 for your financial coaching, your financial advisement here with our coach, Bernard.
Excited. Thank you so much, Liz. And we wouldn't have done this without you. I mean, you bring so much value, and we definitely appreciate all the work you do.
Yes. Thank you, Darwin. You had some good stuff in there, and my husband too. Absolutely, his will that we will prosper. Have a great night, guys. We love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Bernard.
Have a great one. Take care now. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.